Don't you want to give him a hug?
He might not be a hugger.
No, he's a hugger. I've seen the shows. He hugs. Let him hug.
I'm Brooke Burke Charvet, and I'm thinking that Tyler might recognize me from hosting Dancing with the Stars, but he's probably too young to have watched that show. And I'm thinking he's probably even too young to remember where it all began, which was at E! My first gig was hosting Wild On, the job of a lifetime. We're here at my home in Malibu, and I think that the reading was really important to take place here because there's so much that has happened within these walls.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Great to meet you.
Hi.
How's it
Hi,
going?
Tyler. David. Pleasure. Nice to meet you. How are you?
Amazing. Great to
When the door opened and I saw that there were two people greeting me, I had no idea who I was going to be reading. I didn't recognize the client. She introduced herself as Brooke, but I had no idea.
Well, I'm going to let you guys do your thing.
Awesome.
I'll be in the back if you need me.
I got a very strong connection with Brooke, so I was relieved when I realized she was the one I was reading today.
So in the back today is my husband, David Charvet, who pretty much knows everything about me, and then Marilyn Lee, who's been my makeup artist for longer than I've been with my husband.
Thank you for having me. I'm
Thank
happy
you
to
for
be here.
being here.
Have you ever had a reading before?
I mean, I've had a few probably amateur little fun psychic readings, but nothing mind-blowing.
I gotcha.
But I'm open.
Very cool. Before I start, sometimes I'll hold on to an object.
Oh boy, which one? I'm nervous because I wasn't until today. And you know, all my friends are so obsessed with this show that they all made me nervous. They would all line up outside right now if they could just to meet him. People are dying to have a reading with him, so I feel really blessed.
So I'm just gonna hold on. Anyone
Sure.
can come through these objects, but I'm just gonna see what we can do there. So this is weird. They're showing me Valentine's Day, which would bring me to the month of February. I'm seeing balloons, which would indicate an annual date, either birthday or death date. I have this man coming in who passed kind of under weird circumstances, and I feel like this person passed away way before the time that they should have. And this comes through. Okay. Sometimes they'll draw commonalities between certain situations, and on the way here, they were showing me Matthew Shepard, who was obviously found on a fence, and this, to me, kind of indicated more of a situation of like, something happens to me, an event happens to me, and then there's like a period of time until
That's right.
I'm discovered or found.
That's right.
And people wonder in that time frame, like, could I have pulled through, or what was happening, or was this person like already deceased? And it's just this whole like question mark
He was a
thing.
John Doe in the morgue for a couple days before.
There's also a joke about work husband, or being someone's work husband, or like going to work and it's like, you're my, I don't know what this is.
That's right. No, you're
It's
right.
a joke about work husband. It's like, it comes across in a funny way, like, work husband, I don't know, it's
Yeah.
cute.
No, he was my work husband.
It's sweet.
Actually.
I love it.
Holy
There's a reference of seeing hummingbirds. I'm seeing like the flapping of hummingbirds, and
Oh my God.
you need to know that this is a sign, because there's a reference to this.
Oh my
Coming in,
God.
hummingbird, hummingbird, hummingbird. It's like, I'll always be your hummingbird. I don't know what this is.
He always said to her, whenever you see a hummingbird, that's me. Oh my God.
This heart has the ashes of Stephen.
Right.
Like, God, it's all just so painful. You know, Stephen was my hairdresser, my right hand for over a decade. And in addition to that, at work, he was also my best friend. Every gig that I've done on television, he was right there. He died in, I think it was February. I have to confirm that date, but it was tragic and in his 40s and suddenly. And you know, you mentioned my day husband. That was the joke. We worked together very closely for a long time. And hummingbird that you brought up, whenever I see a hummingbird, it reminds me of him. And he loved hummingbirds, and he had a tattoo of a hummingbird on his arm. So when he brought up the hummingbird, I'm just like, it's just, there's just no way.
Okay. Well, show me my symbol for not taking accountability for my death, so that's interesting. When people come through, if they do this, it's my symbol of them saying, I did this to myself. If they do this, it's a way of acknowledging I didn't necessarily do this to myself intentionally, or there were other factors, like externally. For some reason, he's not taking full accountability for the passing. So it's not saying like I killed myself, or I intentionally transitioned myself. It's not coming across in that way. There's just this feeling of like, oh, why was I in that situation? So it feels like a really quick situation that escalated way too fast, and I can't even process it.
There's a lot of mystery attached to his death. You know, I think mystery, you know, when we think about loss and people passing and death, mystery is so painful because you don't get closure.
My only question, just because I have to go based on the symbols I see. So the Matthew Shepard thing obviously was just a symbol.
It was a pretty good reference, though. I mean,
Like, was anyone else involved in his death, or was this?
we don't know.
Okay.
Nobody really knew how he died, and he fell from his rooftop in the middle of the night, in the wee hours of the morning, I should say. And the mystery was, did he fall? Did he slip? You know, did he fly? Did he, you know? So it was really nice to hear that symbol of, he didn't do that. And I always knew that he wasn't suicide. I knew that it was a tragic accident. Tyler, you know, gave me some really comforting information that I think will bring great joy to Stephen's family. So yeah, that's Stephen.
Wow.
I thought that would come up very strong for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's quite the object,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. So that was like, you know, I needed to hear that. That was really good.
Okay. So, this is interesting. I have a woman coming through, but it's like, they're having me talk about a reference to a problem, a heart attack, a sudden like heart situation. And this feels like not appropriate in the timing. Like this person seems super young, but the feeling is like you shouldn't have died of this heart thing. Heart keeps coming in. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I don't know what this is. It's like surrogate children, like taking in children. It's like a sweet feeling with this, but it's like this woman taking on responsibility. And they're having me highlight kids. For some reason, they're bringing up this like heart feeling.
Yeah.
And then they're having me reference to the four. So 4 to me would indicate referencing to like siblings that I would have to bring up. Do you know of any like 4 kids in the family, 4
I
children?
have 4 kids.
Perfect, awesome. So I feel like I must be working with someone on family who's having me refer to them. I think this is a female that I'm actually talking about.
Yeah.
Is having me reference these 4. Not all of them though. Like there's one, like this is the weirdest thing. I'm acknowledging children, but there's like a feeling of connecting to one. I know this might sound
That's
weird.
right. No, that's right.
But there's like a
might sound
special
weird?
connection. So we're referencing 4 kids, but they're having me highlight 1, and like
Yeah.
special connection.
Yeah.
And there's a feeling of like this one still feeling me, still seeing me, still being connected to me. I don't know what this is, but one of the kids would like have a connection to this woman. And the feeling is like, I'm connected to this one even from the other side. I've tried to give little signs that I'm around, but it's like an insistent thing of 1, even though there's an acknowledgement
That
of
makes
4.
sense.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
Awesome.
That was my son.
Perfect.
So she was a caregiver.
Okay.
Rosie. Yeah. She was amazing. And she had a really special bond with my son. He was the baby at the time. So he was 5 when she passed in front of him. Yeah, it was terrible,
To be
tragic, sad. And she passed away in her 40s. She lived in this house, very much a mother figure, and died suddenly of a heart attack. Heart stopped, coma, and then passed. Too young, unexpected, no medical history. So she really helped run the show while I was working, and at super busy times in my life, she kind of held down the fort. She was the woman that was caring for my child while I was at work, so she was loving and she was present, and aside from all that, she was madly in love with my son. That separation was really painful for them, and the understanding in a child's mind and how and why, and having to see that for anyone, you know, let alone a child, was
Absolutely.
very traumatic and a tremendous loss for
Sure.
everyone, but particularly her family and my son.
Of course. When she comes through, there's such a connection to
Yeah.
that sense still.
Yeah, totally.
And a feeling of watching
Totally.
over and being around and being connected. And I think things like this can sometimes be helpful to know that our loved ones are still with us and connected to us beyond that event. As traumatizing as that is, that connection between her and your son will exist forever. And hopefully that'll give him some comfort. So.
Yeah, so trying to explain death to a child is really challenging. You know, we don't know how children process it. We spent a lot of time outside. And when my children, I think, were really struggling dealing with the loss of Rosie, and her husband was so kind to share, she was cremated, and to share a bit of her ashes. And so my children took the ashes and they buried them over here. You know, what's really interesting is when they were able to make their own sort of sanctuary outside and a place to just be with her, sort of taking ownership of that, I think helped them and gave them a lot of comfort. You can see a little remains of Rosie.
Oh.
And a little bracelet that my daughter has left for her. But they can come out here and sit and pray or just be with her and, you know, feel that they have a little bit of control.
Absolutely, to have that moment just to be with
Yeah.
themselves and process that.
Yeah. He has this gift to bring comfort and to help people deal with their losses. You know, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. There's no way that he could have known specific things, intimate things, emotional things, personal things. You can't not believe it. Sitting across from him, having a reading, it was just profound.
I'll be back for dinner, you know.
I love it. No, you have an open invitation, okay?
Oh, thank you so much.
Have
a great rest of your day.
Bye. What just happened?